Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece Chapter 874. And Oda, I gotta ask you straight up. Before I get into the review, I gotta ask you straight up, Oda. How do you do that? How do you make it so that we give a fuck about the side characters you create? I mean, first the Mary, and then the Glabautermon, and now the fucking and now a fucking tree, King Bomb. I mean, just Oda, how do you do it? Okay, I'll get to King Bomb in a minute, but first, actually, let's backtrack. I want to talk about pudding. Um, Now in this chapter, by the end of the chapter, we basically see that the pudding basically wants she cheerfully asks Chiffon to make Big Mom the cake, like almost immediately after catching up with them and Beige's crew. She immediately asks her to make the cake, and it's not to save Big Mom's life, but to save Sanji's life. And I'm not gonna lie, when Pudding was tearfully asking Chiffon to make Big Mom the cake, like almost immediately after catching up with her, it did cross as a little sudden to me at least when I first read it, because I read this chapter a couple times. But yeah, when I first read it, it did come across as a little sudden that she would suddenly out of the blue ask that, and I was sort of in the vein of like, it was one of those things that was sort of in the vein okay, because I kind of preferred my own theory of Pudding being just a little more convincing, just that one final push before changing and wanting to help the Straw Hats. But after every time I read the chapter, after the next couple times I read the chapter, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized it works because of who Sanji is as a character. Sanji, as we know, is chivalrous. He's kind. He's caring. He genuinely he's genuinely a nice guy. He loves. He wants to be as he thinks all women should. In fact, he is a bit of a he is a bit of a he is a bit of a he definitely has a bit of a he definitely has a bit of a womanizing problem. I'll admit that, but at the core of it, you could argue he has a womanizing problem, of course, but at the core of it, he is still genuinely a nice guy who wants to treat all women with absolute respect. And when you think of it like that, Pudding, like just I think Pudding was realizing this throughout the entire arc. I think actually, and she was starting to see a bit of a change, even with. And because of Sanji, she was starting to see Pudding was starting to see change within herself, without her even realizing it. At least not until I think at the point where Sanji basically said what basically basically looked her straight dead in the eyes and said, "Are you really doing this for are you really doing this are you really doing this because you want to?" And like at that point, I think I think Pudding realized that, oh, damn it, this Sanji, this man before me, he really does actually give a fucking shit about me. So, yeah, like it was one of those things where when I first read it, like the whole Pudding change thing. I think the Pudding changing her attitude. I think the transition could have been handled maybe a little bit better, but overall, I still like it, to be honest with you, because it does show that, hey, yeah, she, in the end, it wasn't just all an act. Pudding actually does care about Sanji, so yeah. And another thing is that in this episode, we see that the Big Mom Pirates, they're busy putting up this whole blockade in order to stop the Straw Hats. And basically, from the way things are playing out, I have a feeling that this is going to be handled on this whole escape now, it's going to be handled on two fronts. It's going to be Pudding and Chiffon who are going to make the cake in order to get Big Mom to calm down. Meanwhile, Beige and the Straw Hats are going to be working on a plan in order somehow in order to get off the island and out of this whole entrapment and out of this whole fleet that's basically entrapping them on the island, because with that whole blockade, like the Beige is pretty much trapped too. Like he's gonna have he himself is I think, like his crew is trapped here too. Like it isn't just the Straw Hats, it's both Beige's crew and Luffy and the Straw Hats. So it's both it's both the Fire Tank Pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates. So both Beige and Luffy, they need to work together again in order to find out how the fuck that they are gonna get off this island. So yeah, I think on two fronts it's gonna be it's gonna be putting it in she one who are gonna make the cake, and then Luffy and Beige that are gonna find a way in order to sabotage the whole blockade. I think is what it's gonna be like. But the two, as far as sabotaging the blockade goes, the two obstacles I can see standing in their way Katakuri and Brule. Of course, in Katakuri's case, the motherfucker's just a badass. Like, I think I'm going back to my original theory that I really think like this, like only because of what we've seen of Katakuri, we know he's a sniper, and I really think even though this, I don't see him completely defeating Usopp completely defeating him. I think this would be good, considering he is a sniper. I think this would be good development for Usopp as a sniper as well. Like I think Usopp really needs to go up against a very powerful opponent right now in order to develop even further than he already has. And Usopp has already gotten a lot of development. Don't get it wrong, but I feel that in order to be on the level of someone like, say, like if like people have for a while been kind of picturing in their heads, even I myself, picturing in their heads all the battles, like the battles that are going to happen between the Blackbeard pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates, and of course the one battle that's always apparently on there is Blackbeard's sniper, is Blackbeard's sniper of I forget his name offhand. Sorry guys, but Blackbeard sniper versus Usopp, but Blackbeard's crew are very powerful too. Like so, Usopp. I think this would be a good time for Usopp to develop it to be sniper versus sniper kind of thing. But and Brule of course as well. Now Brule getting in the way is pretty simple because as we see, she's pretty much being in her mirror. Her and her forces are in her mirror world, so that they can just travel throughout anywhere throughout Whole Cake Island through basically through the whole mirror world, and boom, like they can be anywhere that they really want to be. So, yeah, they definitely need to worry about Brule and the Straw Hats and Beige's crew need to worry about Katakuri and Brule for sure. Like those two are the main people that I think are going to be the biggest challenges in terms of escape here on this one. And like I said before, holy shit, Oda. First to marry, like I said before, first to marry, now you're making me care about a fucking tree. I mean, to me, it's amazing how Oda through One Piece, he can make us care about the side characters through the simplest of means. And in this case, just learning that that King Bomb, he had a fiance who he deeply loves and he wants to get back to, like that already is heart wrenching enough. Just and Nami, you're definitely a bitch for you're definitely I love you, Nami, but you're also a bitch for basically tearing King Bomb away from her. I was just saying. But not only that, but just seeing him die, or I don't know if he survived. He might have survived, but I think it's very unlikely because he just got fucking burned by Prometheus, and like yeah, he is seemingly dead, and like I don't see him getting up after being torched by Prometheus. Like that shit was fucking insane, but. It really makes me think that really think about it. Prometheus just burned almost everyone, nearly almost burned everyone in a wide radius. And if Prometheus has that much power, and he's only a fucking construct of Big Mom, a soul construct, then yeah, like again, like I think the last couple of pages of Luffy even trying to fight Big Mom was already proof enough. But again, if this isn't even more proof that Luffy is out of Big Mom's, or even out of the Yonkos fucking league, then yeah, I have no clue as to what the Straw Hats are going to do at this point. Like big, they're already escaping. They're already escaping with basically Big Mom. They're already escaping it without even, for the most part, defeating Big Mom. I think so. Like, they really need to. They really need to start strategizing and doing and using their heads a little more with in terms of fighting these Yonko. And I think this is where two things I think are going to be important going forward. Jinbei and of course the basically it was the Straw Hat Fleet. Like on Jinbei's case, a lot of people have said this, but Jinbei is a tactician, and I'm almost positive that he is the one who's going to help the Straw Hats if he is joining the crew. Like, oh, you can probably assume. I think he's going to be a very key individual in terms of strategizing for the Straw Hats and coming up with the best plan of action in order to defeat the Yonko. And that is going to be key here. Like Luffy has done things up to the point where he's just like punch, 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 and he does use strategy, but it's always just in the thick of battle. Like but now I think he needs to realize that in order to defeat the Yonko, you just can't have battle smarts. You need to actually use tactics. You need to use strategy when defeating these guys. It just can't be a one-on-one battle every time. You need to start using your head a lot more, Luffy. And luckily, Jinbei's there, and he's the tactician. And like I said, the Straw Hat Fleet is also going to be key because I think, again, if there's one thing I think this arc has proven, it's that the Yonko are not going to be defeated easily. And if you want to defeat a Yonko, you need a massive army behind you. And luckily, from what we see in Dressrosa, Luffy does have a massive army at his disposal. He just needs to stomp his. He just needs to kind of stomp his pride a little bit and accept help. That's all it is. But but yeah, guys, that's. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for this chapter. Again, an awesome fucking chapter. Like it was it on the surface that the chapter didn't seem like much, but when you really got down into the nitty gritty of it, like the chapter was awesome, really, like just amazing. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Dead Knight of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.